Hey guys, it's Cliffe here, and in today's video we're looking at some simple ways that you can make your guitar fit you better, play better for you as an individual. Okay, I've got to start this video with a caveat. Every player, every guitarist is different. Things that work for me may not work for you. So this isn't really how to make your guitar fit you. It's to make how did I make my guitar fit me better. But at the same time, a lot of these things will either apply to you or at least inspire you to think in a similar kind of way. Obviously the first thing is to find a guitar that fits you the best, and for me it's a Standard Pro. This is why I have several of them. Get a guitar that's comfortable first. Nice weight, nice neck. Got to feel comfortable in your hands. Otherwise you can tweak things on any guitar and it'll still never feel right. And that's just the nature of the beast. But what do I do to these guitars that is not stock when I get them? Obviously finding string gauge that suits, again, is something that's important. Most guitars come with 10 to 46 or 9 to 42 or sometimes 9 to 46 gauge strings, and that kind of makes sense because most guitarists are using that kind of ballpark of strings. Some people like much heavier strings, some people like really light strings. For me, I've always found 9s to be a little bit floppy in many contexts, and 10s work great for some things, but not others. So getting the perfect balance of string tension on any particular guitar it takes a bit of trial and error. Different guitars do suit different string gauges. And obviously how they respond to your fingers and your playing. So I use 9.5 to 44, which is a kind of weird in-between gauge, but it works for me. The first modification I do is not a free one. The stock bridge pickup on these guitars is Suhrs SSH Plus pickup, which is a bit on the hot side for what I play. if I was still playing hard rock and metal stuff, then it would be a great pickup. And in fact, I swapped one out into Snowy, one of my Ibanez's, which is now back in England. So I go for the SSV Plus instead, which is slightly lower output, slightly more vintage, a little bit brighter, a little bit sort of bluesier, more country sounding, a bit more twang to it. Just personal preference. Pickup choice is always personal preference. You know, there are so many pickups out there, and some of them will be perfect for you, and some will be not right for you. Some people get fantastic sounds out of Seymour Duncans but don't like DiMarzio's. Some people the other way around. I prefer DiMarzio's personally, but that again is just what suits me and gets closer to the sound I hear in my head. But I've got Suhr pickups in 5 or 6 guitars now, and I'm very happy with them. Yeah. Next thing I do, which is a free mod, it's just a little bit fiddly, time consuming, you have to scratch the plate off. For me, certainly for my live guitars, I don't use the tone control. I find the roll off I get just from rolling the volume back gives me enough high frequency roll off that I don't need any extra from the tone control. I'd rather just deal with one control, and it's something that gets knocked all the time and you're never sure where it is. So while my studio guitars, my Tellys and my Les Paul and that kind of thing, and my Strat all have their tone control connected still, on these I just disconnect it, and that's simply a case of taking the scratch plate off when you're restringing and removing the one wire. I think it's only one wire that goes to the tone control. The ground wire is irrelevant, it's just the one shielded wire. And if I ever needed to sell the guitar, or if I ever just wanted to connect it back up again, it is literally a case of just resoldering that wire in place. So it's that easily reversible. You'll have noticed over the years I almost never use my tremolo arm. So I take that out. Just gets in the way for me. I prefer the feel of having my bridge fixed. So that kind of leads on to the next thing I do, which is, well, not the next thing, because you'll notice the next thing I do is I take off the back plate. You don't need to do that unless you, like me, use one of these. I don't know how easy this is to see, but this is a Tremel No setup, which basically means that with these two thumb screws down, it comes with an extra piece that I just find rattles, so I remove it. It's a backstop or something. So you'll see these usually, and there's an extra block with an extra thumb screw in. I don't like that, so I take that off. But I have these the two thumb screws locked in place so that my bridge is fixed, which actually helps me with bending. Both in the sense of just general bending, because the strings don't give, so I can bend up, and I know it's always going to be consistent, and that much bend, I know how that feels on my fingers. If I unlock those nuts, those little bolts, then I don't quite get there by moving the same amount, so I have to bend further. As opposed to so it does make individual bending a little bit easier. The other thing that the Tremel now really helps with is if you're bending one note while playing another string. If you've ever played a Strat style bridge, you'll know that one string goes flat compared with the other. So if I want to, let's say, bend to an A on the B string from the G while playing an open A, that A stays in tune. Whereas if I unlock it, you hear that, how that went. almost a semitone flat, just from bending a different string a tone. It can be compensated with if you're bending, chords and notes within chords, if you're very good at it. But for me, I just find that frustrating, and that's why I don't have the backplate on, because occasionally, usually I want these locked, so I could have the backplate on, but every now and then I do want to use my tremolo arm. So I'll screw that in and unlock these two screws just a little bit. If you unlock them too far, they fall out and disappear into the ether, as one did yesterday. Thankfully they do come with spares. So now I can be so it gives me that option. Not something I use very often, but every now and then it's useful. Saves having another guitar lying around. So they're the main things, other than simple things like just getting your action right, getting your intonation right. Just these little tips that personalise your guitar without changing them visually or anything like that. Just kind of helps make the guitar fit your playing style, which may be different to mine. Maybe you need a whammy bar all the time. That's great. All credit to you for that. Just for me, I keep this in my guitar case, and then I can just play more freely without worrying about it going without a tune as often. If it didn't come with locking tuners, I would have put locking tuners on it, but this guitar comes with them, so much the better. These guitars are streamlined, they're lean. I have them set up exactly how I want them. I encourage you to experiment, to find things that you want. Some things people might do. I have my middle pickup a little bit lower because I come from playing two humbucker guitars. But some people really don't get on with the middle pickup. If you use bigger picks or you play quite aggressively, you may catch it. So you can maybe put a hotter pickup in and screw it right down to the scratch plate so it's well out of the way so you don't feel it. Doesn't worry me that much. I tend to pick just to the neck side of it most of the time, so I'm not catching on it. But pickup height again is something that is worth looking at. Daryl Braun, Canadian YouTube guitarist, posted a video just a week or so ago about adjusting pickup heights and the effect that can have. Watch that because he did it much better than I can do it. I encourage you just to experiment, make your guitar your own. It really helps helps you as a player to fight the instrument less. I know some people like that whole idea of fighting the instrument, but for me, I want an instrument that does what I want it to do. It's not a battle. Okay guys, until next time, take care. Like, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll speak to you soon.